So, hello and welcome, one and all. We are going to go through a little document. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so I can read it better for you in this setup. We're going to go through a really interesting document that I'm looking forward to discussing with you today. Uh, it appears it's the second source from the bottom in my Dr. Klaus Schwab, or How the CFR Taught Me to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb article, second in the Schwab series that are on Unlimited Hangout. You can hear read-throughs of it and other things. Lots of discussion of it on fungimonkey.com. I think it's really important to understand how, this document is one of the most important to come around. The year 2000 was written by Herman Kahn and the Hudson Institute, and it was called the year 2000, a framework for speculation in the next 33 years. And in 1967, it was mapping out where we're going to be in the future by the year 2000, millennium. Now, as you see here, someone's really gone through the full list of predictions, and a hit is in green. So, for instance, multiple applications of laser and masers for sensing, measuring, communication, cutting, heating, welding, power transmission, illumination, destructive, defensive, and other purposes. Number one is a hit. It has happened, and then you've got the partial hits where it's almost there, it's nearly there, and a miss where it's not there yet. Now, you will discover that some of the misses we already know have been created. So this document is by what has officially been admitted to rather than what has been hit or missed. But still, we will discuss this, and it is really important. I wanted to go through this in a comprehensive manner. Now, this was Herman Kahn and Anthony J. Weiner, published, as it says up here, in 1967. And whoever's done this is this is on crummy.com. It's a really good rundown of it, a really good condensing of all of the information. And as you see, they've separated that. So table XV111, which of course is 18, table 18, 100 technical innovations very likely in the last third of the 20th century. So we're going to go through some of these, and we're going to discuss whether it really is a hit, a partial hit, or a miss. And I've read the first one out, so I'll skip over that, but it's true. There's been lots of applications of lasers. Extreme high strength and or high temperature structural materials. Yep, we're there. Number 3, new or improved super performance fabrics, papers, fibers, and plastics. Yes, we're there. New or improved materials for equipment and appliances, plastic, glasses, alloys, ceramics, intermetallics, and cements. Now, all of these are easy to predict. You could, in 1967, you can easily predict these things. You can say all of those things are likely because we see the progression. We see lasers becoming used. We see high strength, high temperature structural materials being looked to use. We see paper, fiber, plastic, glasses, alloys all being examined in full because it's part of our everyday life, and people are always trying to advance that technology, and they already know that if that advances exponentially, then that would be true. Now, some of the things they said, now they weren't achieved by 2000, so this miss is they weren't achieved by 2000. New airborne vehicles, ground effect machines, VTOL and STOL, super helicopters, giant and or supersonic jets. Not quite yet, but probably already. They're already building such things. And especially within space flight, we're going to see such things as well. Number 6, extensive commercial application of shaped charge explosives. Shaped charge explosive. I'm not sure what a shaped charge explosive, but I wonder if that's fracking. Is that fracking? Is that actually, what's that? Google. A shaped charge is a high explosive charge for focusing explosive energy in one direction using the Monroe effect or Newman effect. Generally, a shaped charge consists of of a high explosive with a hollow cavity, a thin metal liner, a detonator, and a metal casing. Well, I didn't know that. So they're saying that it's something that exists to blow things up and etc. And they're saying extensive commercial applications of that. I think that might be because they're thinking of getting to space sooner than they did. And that would be something that maybe they would use on meteors or mining in space. Okay, so more reliable and longer range weather forecasting. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's reliable. I've looked in the future of weather and they got there and it's raining when it should be sunny and sunny when it should be raining. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on you, Herman Kahn. Only slightly. Here's the first partial hit, intensive and or extensive expansion of tropical agriculture and forestry. That's what they want to do, expand it. New sources of power for fixed installations, magnetohydrodynamic, fermionic, and thermoelectric and radioactivity. New sources of power for fixed installations. I'm not sure if they haven't already achieved some of that. So I'm not sure if red is right, but I still some of these are hard, but some of these are amazingly interesting and important to discuss. Number 10, new sources of power for ground transportation, storage battery, fuel cells, propulsions, or support by electromagnetic fields, jet engine, turbine, and the like. Number 11, extensive and intensive use of high altitude cameras for mapping, prospecting, sensors, land use, and geological investigations. Hit. New methods of water transportation, such as large submarines, flexible and special purpose container ships, or more extensive use of large automated single purpose bulk cargo ships. All hit. And it's amazing that it wasn't there then. We would expect it would still be there, but nowadays you've got massive ships shipping around. A partial hit. Number 13, lucky number 13. Major reduction in hereditary and congenital defects. See, we're coming up to the transhumanist part of this because this is about the technology of the future, and these guys are all rubbing their feet about the idea of immortality. Number 14, extensive use of cyborg techniques, mechanical aids or substitutes for human organs, sensors, limbs, and other components. Now that's down as a miss, but I'm not sure. It's coming close, isn't it? Cyborg techniques, mechanical aids and substitutes for human organs, senses, limbs, and other components. We're already implanting stuff around the place, and they're already promising that's what we'll have in the near future. So we don't get by 2000, but we're coming close to it now. New techniques for preserving or improving the environment. Yeah, starting 16, relatively effective appetite and weight control. Now, if anybody's seen my Musk family about Mummy and Daddy Musk and Mummy May Musk, yeah, promoting Alestra fat that made you poo quickly out of your liquid poo out of your poop chute, then you'll know that now preserving and improve the weight control, effective appetite and weight control isn't quite there yet, but it's close. New techniques for institutions for adult education. New techniques and institutions for adult education. Well, we got online learning, so of course that is at least a green. It's got to be a green, surely. Number 18, new and useful plant and animal species. Wow. New and useful plant. We have got it. Human hibernation for short periods, hours or days for medical purposes. They're planning on it. In it, and that has you can adapt that to be prison cells as well, can you? If someone's risks themselves. Eventually, they'll be able to argue we'll stick them in hibernation. Number 20, inexpensive design and procurement of one-of-a-kind items for the use of computerized analysis and automated production. 21, controlled and or super effective relaxation and sleep. I'd like a bit of that. They say it hasn't been done yet. We're probably going towards it now, especially if they want to get into space flight. So you can imagine Musk's boys are trying to look at that sort of technology. More sophisticated architectural engineering, e.g., geodesic domes, fancy stress shells, pressurized skins, and esoteric materials. I think we're close to that, especially with nanotechnology, but by the year 2000, no. Number 23, new or improved uses of the ocean. Mining, extraction of minerals, controlled farming, sources of energy, and the like. Hey, you've got to read Whitney Webb's coming article about ocean stuff that's going on at the moment, and you'll see that is really growing rapidly and projected to boom. They want to take control of the ocean. Eventually, they'll be building in it. I can promise you that they'll be building with superstructure materials that they'll be able to create in time. Number 24, three-dimensional photography, illustrations, movies, and television. Well, not yet, but kind of. We can already print 3D stuff, so I think there is, and holograms and stuff are a bit more so usual, and we've got lots of different 3D technologies. So I don't know. I think that should be purple. 25, automated or more mechanized housekeeping and home maintenance. Yeah, so bots around the house that clean up your floor. That's already going on. But the rest is soon. We can feel it round the corner, can't we? Where the houses will start doing stuff like changing the bed and things. And I don't like the sound of it. No, I like the sound of someone changing my bed. I don't like the sound of a robot doing it. 26, widespread use of nuclear reactors for power. This is what a lot of them, like Bill Gates and the like, want to happen. They want a load of nuclear reactors. And as maybe the technology will become safer and better, but it isn't like that at the moment, because they can use nuclear reactors as two things. Number one, they can use it as a tool for power, and then they can use it as a tool to take power by blowing it up and making it look like you can't go to a place anymore, or making it look like they've blown it up. I mean, it gives them options to trick you and manipulate you into thinking that we're all about to die. This is something they do. 27, use of nuclear explosives for excavation and mining, generation of power, creation of high temperature, high pressure environments, and or sources of neutrons and other radiations. Well, no, not completely, but on its way. Nuclear explosive for excavation and mining. They would love that in frackland, wouldn't they? The fracking boys, that contingent would love it. Number 28, general use of automation and cybernation in management and production. Yes. 29, extensive and intensive centralization or automatic interconnection of current and past personal and business information in high-speed data processing. Yes. 30, other new and possible pervasive technologies for surveillance, monitoring, and control of individuals and organizations. Let me tell you, Herman Kahn loved that. Herman Kahn was right down with that. During the writing of this document, him and Anthony J. Weiner, who wrote this document with him, were well into that. They loved it. All about the surveillance, control, manipulation. 31, some control of weather and or climate. And they say it's a red. And it's happening. Uh-oh. Yes, anybody, I've lived in Britain. I see what they call contrails and stuff just all around the place. It moody grey days. seeding stuff. I wrote an article about the 100 years of Porton Down's history of doing such thing, being caught doing such thing, but with poisonous chemicals and viruses and all sorts, just spraying it out over people. They don't care. They don't care. And they have been trying to do weather manipulation and doing it for many years. Down here in Chile, there's no need for it, so I don't see any of it. That's it. You just don't see any of it. So red, no way, man. Green. Other permanent or temporary changes or experiments with overall environment, e.g., the permanent create in C14 and temporary creation of other radioactivity by nuclear explosions, the increasing generation of CO2 in the atmosphere, Project Starfire, Westford, and Storm Fury. Well, I would like to look more into Project Starfire, Westford, and Storm Fury. So creation of other radioactivity by nuclear explosions. I mean, these guys are like, we got nukes. What can we use them for? Industry. Oh, they're dangerous and can kill loads of people, and they contaminate industry. Amazing some of the things they say. And that's been done. There you go. That's in green. That's really weird. Really weird that one's in the red and that one, which basically says the same thing, is in green. Yeah, is more conspiratorial. Anyway, Neomis is here. New and more reliable educational and propaganda techniques for effective human behavior, public and private. Oh my God, and that's a purple. That is green as they come. New and more reliable educational and propaganda techniques. Educational for affecting human behavior. Oh, you cheeky, dirty, rotten sons of bitches. 34. A practical use of direct electronic communication with the stimulation of the brain. So, already happening. Oh, I feel bad. I have a brain chip in my brain. That's already happening. That's already going. So, we're there now. We weren't there in 2000, but we're there now. 35. Human hibernation for relatively extensive periods, months to years. Oh, that is dangerous, isn't it? Because then all of the nastiest people in the world are just about to die, and boom, they'll stick them in a hibernation chamber and keep them going. Oh my God. 36. Cheap and widely available central war weapons and weapon systems. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? Cheap and widely available central war weapons and weapon systems. Yeah, that's what we're seeing happening all over the place, is that war becomes perpetual modern warfare with these sort of weapon systems, and then countries like Ukraine can supposedly compete with bigger countries like Russia, but I don't think that's true. 37. New and relatively effective counterinsurgency techniques, and perhaps also insurgency techniques. Well, I think that's partially the NGOs, like new and relatively effective counter. Those are NGOs, so they say it's not it's a near hit, but we've seen a lot of that. That's basically a political insurgency from the inside without realizing what's going on, and using people from the country to align another country with bigger power outside, unknowingly as well, usually through the guise of democratic elections, like 2004 election in Ukraine, which was about changing the perspective of Ukraine from east to west. And I got an article coming out about that eventually, which is quite astounding. There's some really astounding stuff. Me and this guy Kahn Disley have been looking up. Very clever guy. New techniques for very cheap, convenient, and reliable birth control. Yeah, new techniques. Oh, we could just suck the eggs right out of you and you won't have them anymore. We'll keep them in a jar, keep them in hibernation, honest governor. Ooh, all the systems broke down and now you'll never be able to have babies. Baron, yes, that's how we like you. Number 39, new, more varied, and more reliable drugs for the control of fatigue, relaxation, alertness, mood, personality, perceptions, fantasies, and other psychobiological states. Well, I took a load of those, so I don't know what was in the red there. 40, capability to choose sex of unborn children. There, repeat, 40, capability to choose the sex of unborn children. Talking point right by here, currently happening all over the place, isn't it? That's what they do. Improve capability to change sex of children and or adults. What they see in the future is what they head towards. So them saying this makes it manifest. Saying that this will be the normal in the future makes it normal in the future, is what some will contend. Number 41, improve capability to change sex of children and or adults. But it's not, is it? It's just you're pretending you're changing. Pretending. 42, other genetic control and or influence over basic constitution of an individual. What, like mRNA technology that actually changes your genetic makeup? Is that on its way? Don't believe it. 43, new techniques and institutions for the education of children. That's what coming. This is why it's really important to understand what is happening here, because these guys have planned this out. And this is really, this next 200 years is really the establishment plan from the horse's mouth as they made it, printed out, and someone's compiled it into a lovely list so you can be sure that all of these things that are happening in front of our very eyes are things you can avoid. Not all of them. I mean, some of them maybe you want. Some of you we want to live forever. If people weren't brainwashed so much, then they could make loads of their own decisions. But at the moment, they're making other people's decisions by virtue of brainwashing. These are really, really important, though. You're talking about genetic changes, changes in sex of children, changes of sex of unborn children. This is what this document is talking about. Education, re-education of children, special new techniques and institutes for the education of children. What do you think online learning is nowadays? It's a new technique and institution for the education of children. That is in red. But we are here. It's happening fast. It'll happen faster and faster, and it'll become normalized very quickly. Be careful the world you're entering into. Taking human interaction away from your child is child abuse and makes you a horrid bastard. Okay, so general and substantial increase in life expectancy, postponement of aging, and limited rejuvenation. Question is, for who? For who? And at what cost? So they can maybe they're telling you exactly this, and they will tell you exactly this just before they got the technology to be able to do this. So you'll take whatever experimental technology they need to go through to learn how to do this. Be careful. Be careful. 45. Generally acceptable and competitive synthetic foods and beverages, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, enzymes, vitamins, coffee, tea, cocoa, and alcoholic liquor. Acceptable, generally acceptable. They don't say perfect versions of food, synthetic versions. They say acceptable and competitive synthetic foods. You want this synthetic chicken? What's it made of? Maggots in a lab. Oh, okay, then I'll eat the synthetic chicken. Is it both generally acceptable and competitive? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm in. 46. High quality medical care for underdeveloped areas, use of medical aids and technicians, referral hospitals, broad spectrum antibiotics, and artificial blood plasmas. Some people will say that because of the fear the establishment has over the sudden technological boom in a place like Africa, and like a continent like Africa, they worry that eventually it'll move so fast that it'll make them it'll make the whole continent's black population dangerous, because they'll be like awakened by this technology. A lot of people think that's why they want to kill them off beforehand, kill off a lot of the black population. Wouldn't be surprised, would it? These guys are quite horrible people. 47. Design and extensive use of responsive and super controlled environments for private and public use for pleasurable, educational, and vocational purposes. He said, I'm not really sure what this means. Design and extensive use of responsive and super controlled environments for private and public use. I would assume that you like parks that do more than what you think that are inside, that aren't really even parks that are. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to work out what some of the things in the future is meant to be. But once it happens, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. That's it, isn't it? Physically, number 48. Physically, non-harmful methods of overindulging. Oh, my God. Simple techniques for extensive and permanent cosmetological changes, features, figures, perhaps complexion, and even skin color, and even physique. So simple techniques for extensive and permanent cosmological changes. You will be able to change your skin color permanently. You'll be able to change your physique permanently. How about that? Some people would die for it. Literally. That's what they'll be selling you. They'll be selling you death before you get anything like that. More extensive use of transplantation of human organs. Yes. Permanent manned satellite and lunar installations. Interplanetary travel. They say we're close, but, that's debatable. The evidence doesn't suggest that everything's what it seems. Hey, Musk, if getting to the moon so easy, go to the moon now, please. Thank you. 51. Permanent manned satellite and lunar installations interplanetary. 52. Applications of space life systems or similar techniques to terrestrial installations. Space life systems. So what, like some sort of gravity chamber indoors for keeping things within stasis? So that it doesn't get affected by other things, like does that like happens in space? Who knows? 53. Permanent inhabited undersea installations and perhaps even colonies. I tell you, they're going to start populating the seas, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's already happened. If there's already some form of installation out in the middle where nobody goes, perfectly private, the best place on earth for them to do their dodgy deals. Automated grocery and department stores, where only the manager and the security guard is left. We know it's on its way, and it is versions of it all over the place. There was test versions very early in many different countries where you could go in and you basically have sandwiches and stuff all in cases, and you put in your number and the machine pay and it'll drop out. So, I mean, we've already got like that sort of vending machine but built into a shop type mechanism going on. They still need humans for the time being. Extensive use of robots and machines slaved to humans. That's interesting. Extensive use of robots and machines slaved to humans. So this is my robot for doing this purpose, and it is mine, and it will be mine forever. Which then brings into the idea of robot revolution and uprising and all of this, which lots of people are worried about when they look at it on a long-term futuristic view. 56. New uses of underground tunnels for private and public transportation and other purposes. Yes, well, we already know that for Elon Musk doing that same sort of stuff, or claiming to. Automated universal real-time credit audit and banking systems. Automated universal real-time credit audit and banking systems sounds to me like central bank digital currencies are the end point of that description, but we are going through loads of processes that allow us to get there, and we already got it, but real-time credit audit and banking systems, but they fail so regularly, and they rely on all these other systems. Something bigger is coming, something more comprehensive, something more dangerous. Chemical methods for improving memory and learning is drugs, but yeah, there'll be more. 59, greater use of underground buildings, underwater buildings, underground buildings. You'll see much more of it. They want to be able, once you could create your own habitat and your own surroundings, and you can manipulate things a lot more, there will be more. You will see more of this come into practice, and eventually, I think you'll probably see underground buildings that don't even seem like they're underground. Don't have the effect of an underground building, have lighting systems and stuff that give you the same thing that you get from the sun, or supposedly do, and you'll feel like you're outside even though you're underground. At some point you won't know where you are, underground, overground, wambling free, who knows. Anyway, chemical methods for improving underground buildings, new and improved materials and equipments for buildings and interiors, variable transmission glass, heating and cooling by thermoelectric effect, and electroluminescent and phosphorescent lighting. Some of that is coming in now, but it's really still at testing stages for a lot of this sort of tech. Widespread use of cryogenics. They'd love it. 62, improved chemical control of some mental illness and aspects of senility. Yes, but at what cost? Again, not as answered. 63, mechanical and chemical methods for improving human analytical ability, more or less directly. And chemical methods for improving human analytical more or less directly. Yes, I believe so. Well, why not? It's probably already here as well. 64, inexpensive and rapid techniques for making tunnels and underground cavities in earth and or rock. Yes, that's coming. We know it. 65, major improvements in earth moving and construction equipment generally. They say it's not done, but it is on its way. I feel a lot of this stuff. 66, new techniques for keeping physically fit and acquiring physical skills. Now, that would be good. If it's new techniques and you don't have to actually put any effort, you'd see loads of people suddenly do it. Again, what's the cost of that? We won't know until long term, will we? You replace any traditional method with a form of technology, you have some benefits and some lack of benefits from doing it the old classic way. 67, commercial extraction of oil from shale. Why that's in purple, I do not know. That's fracking, I suppose, isn't it? 68, recoverable boosters for economic space launching. I think that's already going on, yeah. 69, individual flying platforms. Wow, I want an individual flying platform. 70, simple, inexpensive home video recording and playing. What? Yes, of course. 71, inexpensive, high capacity, worldwide, regional, and local home business communications, perhaps using satellites, lasers, and light pipes. Well, I just would say the other one, it's 1967 they're doing this, so video recording and playing wasn't so easy then, and it only just come in to be available when I was probably about 3 or 4, in about 1983, 1984. 72, practical home and business use of wired video communications for both telephone and TV, possibly including retrieval of tape materials from libraries and other sources. A wide video communication. Is this the internet? And rapid transmission and reception of facsimiles, email, possibly including news, library materials, commercial announcements, instantaneous mail delivery, other printouts, and so on. We're there. We're there. Definitely are. 73. Practical large-scale desalinization. Wow. What does that mean? Practical large-scale desalinization. Are they talking about making oceans freshwater? I do not know. 74. Pervasive business use of the computers for the storage, processing, and retrieval of information. What we're doing right now. 75. Shared time, public and interconnected computers generally available in your home or business on a metered basis. Kind of. I'm here. 76. Other widespread use of technologies for intellectual and professional assistance, translation, teaching, literature search. What we're doing here, medical diagnosis, traffic control, crime detection, maybe also what we're doing here, computation, design, analysis, and some degree of intellectual collaborator generally. Yes, I think we're probably doing it here. Generally, general availability of inexpensive, transuranic, and other esoteric elements. Well, give us time. 78. Space defense system, Star Wars. So born here, they talk about, oh, we need a space defense system, and then what came? All of this fear about one creating a space defense system. It still goes on today. There's still lots of like, oh, they're going to create it, and then we'll all be mutually assured destruction, but from space now rather than from Earth. So it's still the same theory. It's still entering the same thing as we've got now. So that's why a lot of people haven't continued with it, because you got mutually assured destruction from space, or mutually assured destruction from Earth. Well, we currently got the Earth version, so what's the point? 79. Inexpensive and reasonably effective ground-based ballistic missile defense. The person who put these up notes, one way not to make the reputation is to find a hole in the air defense system. It's all holes. Oh, that's from Herman Kahn, apparently. Oh, so ballistic missile defense. Well, I think it'll happen at some point. Very low cost buildings for home and business use. Yes. Already very low cost buildings. Well, I think there's already, I mean, compared to what a building costs, it's already coming, that it's already happening. And is this in a sense that you'll own nothing and be happy? You know, you won't own your living room and your bedroom, you'll leave there and then you'll go back to another place afterwards, you'll own nothing and be happy. And those very low cost buildings for, like, will that be within these very low cost buildings for home and business use? Personal pages, perhaps even two-way pocket phones, oh my god, and other personal electronic equipment for communication, computing, and data processing program. Yes, we've got it in our pocket. 82. Direct broadcast from satellites to home receivers. I did have satellite when I was young. We used to watch Yo MTV raps. 83. Inexpensive, less than $20, long-lasting, very small battery-operated TV receivers. Yeah, kind of. In a sense, you've got certain gizmos and gadgets that allow you to run computers and stream online with just a tiny little part of a computer, or a little like version of a computer at the moment, don't you? So that's kind of been done now. 84. Home computer to run household and communicate with the outside world. Oh my god, a home computer, can you imagine it? 85. Maintenance-free, long-life electronic and other equipment. You're dreaming. 86. Home education. Everything's got built-in obsolescence. It's only getting more so. It'll only get more so in the future because they want you to keep buying stuff. So it's just not likely. Anyway, 86. Home education via video and computerized and programmed learning. Yes, oh, come on. It's in purple here. Why is it in purple? Home education via video and computerized and programmed learning. Already done. 87. Stimulated and planned and perhaps programmed dreams. Ooh, and that's what they're talking about in 2030. In 2030, we'll be able to read dreams, tell you dreams, even create dreams. But they're bound to tell you this while they're about to rape you in an alleyway. 88, inexpensive, less than 1 cent a page, rapid, high quality black and white reproduction, followed by color and high detailed photography reproduction, perhaps for home as well as office use. What, like a printer? 89, widespread use of improved fluid amplifiers. I wonder what a fluid amplifier is. Should we check that out too? Ba, 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 ba. A supply of fluid entering a device becomes a stream forced to flow a chosen path through carefully designed internal shapes before giving an output. Input jets of far lower power positioned to give the greatest possible effect on the stream. Wow, okay. Don't know why that's they got a reason for that, but 90. Conference TV, both closed circuit and public communications system. Yes, it's true. It's already here. 91. Flexible penology without necessarily using prisons by use of modern methods of surveillance, monitoring, and control. Read that. Listen to that. Flexible penology, keeping people in prisons without necessarily using prisons by using modern methods of surveillance, monitoring, and control. That's what they want from you. That's what they want from you. They want to stick wearables on your children with the Welcome Leap 1,000-day program because they want to say, oh, we want to check out how your child's doing. But what they want to see is constant human interaction with wearables so that they can end up making this flexible technology. It's not about helping your children out. It's about taking all of the data that they can shove into other machines and keep you a prisoner. So don't think that where all of these massive wearables and surveillance monitoring, however much they market it at you, is a good thing. It's never a good thing. Open up your eyes to that. Don't let them stick things on your children, or you deserve to cry every night, and you will. 92. Common use of long-lived individual power source for lights, appliances, and machines. Got some batteries, but they're bound to get better in time. Human technology improves exponentially. 93. Inexpensive worldwide transportation of humans and cargo. Yes, we're already there. Inexpensive road-free and facility-free transportation. Don't know what that means. Inexpensive road-free and facility-free. What? You just suddenly travel now and you land somewhere else. Well, I like it. I like it. I'll go with it. Let's do it. Bzz, bzz. Yes. Hello. I'm here now. 95. New method for rapid language teaching. Okay, I wouldn't mind that. That's kind of like, the element of the babble fish in there. Something is sticking in your ear and suddenly you can learn and understand the language really quickly. 96. Extensive genetic control for plants and animals. That's really interesting. Partially already a hit, but has some work to go. 97. New biological and chemical methods to identify, trace, incapacitate, or annoy people for police and military uses. Yes, already happening. They've already got things that'll make you feel sick and will make your brain quiver and stuff, and sounds that'll do things to you, and frequencies that'll do things for you to you. So they're already there with that, and it's only going to get more so. They want to stop people being out on the streets. They want to take away people's rights to say no, so they don't say no, and then they can do whatever. We got to keep fighting them. 98. New and possibly very simple methods for lethal biological and chemical warfare. Oh, nice. New and possibly very simple methods for, well, we have already got there. There's loads of it, and I mean, loads of possibilities, but you still got to get the ingredients in the first place. So, 99. Artificial moon or other methods for lighting large areas at night. Now that sounds like something Bill Gates would love. Just kill all the plants in the area. Oh, look, the sun's still out. Yay, or the moon is out. Oh, the garlic doesn't produce properly. Oh, don't worry, we're fine. We may have vitamin deficiencies, but we've got light at night. 100. Extensive use of biological processes in the extraction and processing of minerals. Biological processes. Be concerned about that. You want to get to the through the soil. We basically dissolve the soil using this bunch of chemicals, and then you don't have soil left anymore. What do you stand on? Give us some more money. Right. So this table, some less likely, and we're coming up to the end of it now. And this is important for you to understand, to see some of the technologies, and somehow some are already there. They say that, but we're really close. But this is some less likely but important possibilities. These were all misses except for number 22, which I would classify as a partial hit due to the development of IVF. So says the person who's put this together for us, who I like them very much. Well done for putting this together for us. We are big fans of yours. One, true artificial intelligence. For people who don't know, there's like 3 different forms of artificial intelligence. What we got now, which is fake artificial intelligence, quite significantly intelligent artificial intelligence that can actually help us a little bit, and then the other artificial intelligence which rogers us in the arse. Number 2, practical use of sustained fusion to produce neutrons and or energy. These are the things that they're coming. These are the things that make them jewel. These are the things they're going to be looking into. Be worried. Artificial growth of new limbs and organs, either in situ or for later transplantation, kind of already happening. Ear on the back of the mouse, for instance, so it can be attached on to a human candidate. You can do all of this, but doing it well and risking things, they go together with it. I mean, you're talking, you could risk some strange sort of cross contamination between human and animal genetics now being part of the human gene pool, and we wouldn't want that for many reasons. So a lot of these are things they want to do really desperately, but we should be worried about. Room temperature superconductors. That sounds weird. So being able to get powers and stuff from just room temperature that stay at room temperature. Right, I just don't know. That you don't have to cool to make. I don't know. 5, major use of rockets for commercial or private transportation, either terrestrial or extraterrestrial. Major use of rockets. Well, we're coming towards there eventually, because obviously there's lots of rocket technology being developed now by the likes of people like Musk and the other technocrats. Number 6, effective chemical or biological treatment for most mental illnesses. That says for most mental illnesses, chemical or biological in treatments. But at the same time, you're allowing people with mental illness to change their babies or their children's gender. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. Number 7, almost complete control of marginal changes in hereditary. Oh, wow. Wow, you won't have your dad's eye anymore. Number 8, suspended animation for years or centuries. Think about that. Suspended animation for centuries. Heavy going stuff. 9, practical materials with nearly theoretical limit strength. So theoretical limit, I would just suppose there's no real limit to the strength, depending on the size and weight of it. It is maximum strength. Number 10, conversion of mammals, humans, to fluid breathers. Right, so we'd be able to breathe underwater. Oof, I don't like any of this. It's making me feel a bit funny. Number 11, direct input into human memory banks. I mean, they've been talking about this for 2030 that you'll be able to know what you're dreaming. Well, surely they'll be able to know what else is going in your brain if that's the case. So we're not probably, they don't think we're that far away from that. And number 12, direct augmentation of human mental capacity by the mechanical or electrical interconnection of the brain with a computer. On its way, on its way. Major rejuvenation and or significant extension of vigor and lifespan, say to 100 to 150 years. It's coming. 14, chemical or biological control of character or intelligence. Part of what the Welcome Leap program covers is trying to make everybody roughly the same and changing the babies in the womb to have control over the chemical and biological characteristics and intelligence. Automated highways. Oh, God. That sounds like what our next step, doesn't it? After concrete, you're not allowed to drive anywhere. Your car just gets shoved around the place by the roads or by however it does it. 16, extensive use of moving sidewalks for local transportation. No more walking anywhere, people. You just stand there. Now people walking around, but getting places quicker. I don't necessarily mind moving sidewalks. It's just I think not sure. Anyway, substantial manned lunar or planetary installations. Yes. That's probably coming. 18, electrical power available for less than 0.3 mil per kilowatt hour, whatever that means, but coming probably. 19, verification of some extrasensory phenomenon. Wow. So this is Herman Kahn and the Hudson Institute saying by the year 2000 we'll have verification of some extrasensory phenomenon. Interesting. 20, planetary engineering. Well, okay. Making planets, all right. Number 21, modification of the solar system. That's pretty big change. Do we want to be changing that? I don't know. Herman Kahn said, why not? And 22, as they marked near practical laboratory conception and nurturing of animal-human fetuses. Right, by the modification of the solar system. These people, man. 23, production of a drug equivalent to Huxley's Soma. Oh my God. You can see where they're going now. It's like they're heading towards dystopia. 24, a technological equivalent of telepathy. Wow. I don't want people to read my thoughts. 25, some direct control of individual thought processes. Oh, and that's the winner. If they have technology that means they can directly control our individual thought processes, we are doomed. Humanity in general is doomed. Okay, the last table here, I think it's the last table, says 10 far-out possibilities. The author's right. We do not believe that any of them will occur by the year 2000, or perhaps ever. But some of them are discussed today, and such list does emphasize the fact that some dramatic and radical innovations must be accepted. A revealing statement. Most of the dramatic post-war 1968 innovations were correctly predicted on the first list. What wasn't predicted were the radical second-order effects of those innovations. As you'd expect, all of these are misses, especially since most of them are more extreme versions of predictions from a previous list. Though the author might be surprised at how close number 8 seems as of 2008. So this was obviously put together in 2008. This list is an extremely useful list. Whoever's done this is a genius. He's wonderful, really important. Thank you. Number 1, life expectancy extended to substantially more than 150 years. or immortality. Now, these are the ones that they want to get to more than the ones that haven't been achieved yet. Number 2, almost complete generic control, but still Homo sapiens. When they say generic, I think they mean genetic control, complete genetic control, but still Homo sapiens. Number 3, major modification of human species, no longer Homo sapiens. So this is where all of these guys speak about. We're going here, we're going here, we're going here, and then we'll have full control, and then we'll have this uber race of humans, and humans as we know it will soon become extinct. That's what they talk about. Yuval Noah Harari talks about it. So far out may never happen, apart from they're looking for ways to make that happen. Now, whether it happens is irrelevant. Them looking for ways mean they will make parts of it happen. Parts of us and certain people will believe that they can become no longer Homo sapien. They can become something else. They can change, and they will. 4, anti-gravity or practical use of gravity waves. I don't know. Footnote, originally, as usually envisaged, this would possibly would make possible a perpetual motion machine, and therefore the creation of energy out of nothing. We do not envisage this as even a far possibility, but include anti-gravity, even though it annoys some physicists' friends, as an example of totally new use of basic phenomena that seems a violation of basic law. So that's saying, it's not likely. But they've included it anyway. 5, interstellar travel. 6, electric power available for less than 0.03 mil per kilowatt hour. 7, practical and routine use of extrasensory phenomena. That's crazy. Moving shit, doing stuff, reading minds, who knows. Number 8, laboratory creation of artificial alive plants and animals. I think that's not that far away. They act like it will never be artificial live plants. I reckon we're right around the corner from something like that. It's the next step beyond things like CRISPR and stuff. 9, lifetime immunization against practically all diseases. Well, that would wipe out Big Pharma, wouldn't it? But it's kind of what they're pushing towards now. They're looking to create that. Now, these guys say it's very unlikely that they'll be able to achieve that. And they're like, we're going to try anyway. But don't you know there's going to be risks? We're going to try anyway. But don't you know you won't get it passed because a lot of it will be legal. We're going to do it anyway. That's what's going on at the moment. Number 10, substantial lunar or planetary bases or colonies. So substantial lunar, so living on the moon. And that's basically it. This document source is part of Crimea website of Leonard Richardson. Contact information. It was last modified on Monday, September the 15th, 2008. Really good that this guy did this. Leonard Richardson, to see what happens. There you go. The past is dust and the future put smart noise. But anyway. So the guy who actually put this together, we should give him a little bit of time. He's got a funny face. He says, I'm Leonard Richardson. I answer to Leonard or Leonard. I like dinosaurs, turtles, trilobites, and humans. This is my website. It's been around in one form or another since 1996. All very interesting. You started building this in 1996. I was born in Los Angeles and raised in Irvine, California. I now live in New York City. I write programs and prose, including weblog, and my wonderful wife, Sumana Harihoeshiwawa, has a proportionately wonderful weblog. My hobby is to entertain people. That's this website. I have a lot of ideas, and I hope you find the fruits fun and useful. Who can tell the future, what the future may bring? I may rise to conquer the world, or my plans may be dashed by a ragtag band of misfits. In any event, it should be interesting. And so that's really interesting. This guy's he's done this. I wouldn't really, he's put his resume up online. May as well have a little look. Oh, look, it's his modern resume too. That's interesting. And software architect, worked for some different leading developer, finding to improve humanity's standard of living by adding connect. This is interesting because he sees the same sort of thing by the looks of it. Believes in it, increasing the standard of living, partially via knowledge. So this is the second up from the bottom of sources on Dr. Klaus Schwab, how the CFR taught me to stop worrying and level the bomb, which is on Unlimited Hangout and can be found on johnnyvedmore.com on the top of fungimonkey.com too. And that's a really important article. A couple of things that I would say that are really pertinent for the right at the time being is this: some control of weather or climate. 31, that's happening, buddies. And the capability to choose sex of unborn children, they're going towards that. And they don't know what that'll mean. So it's testing on you. Anything where they don't know what it means, it's testing on you. Improved capability to change the sex of children and or adults. They've got improved capabilities, but do they really change it? Some of these things in this list are the year 2000. It comes from Herman Kahn's work at the Hudson Institute, working as part for the State Department. While he was working for the State Department, he produced this at the same time while he's doing other stuff for the State Department. This became a really important moment. The year 2000 even was a document that would eventually be followed up by the next 200 years, where Herman Kahn would talk about going into space, mining meteors. We won't need to worry about all these different things as a reaction to something called the limit to growth, which was produced by the famous, infamous Club of Rome, which was being led by Aurelio Pecci at the time. And Aurelio Pecci being keynote speaker to the third World Economic Forum, then called the European Management Symposium still. And Herman Kahn didn't like that he had been involved in creating an organization like the World Economic Forum. And then it was used to go against everything he believed in that way, and can convince people of this other thing, that could convince people that population needs to be brought down. Now, when you read Herman Kahn, some of Herman Kahn's earlier work, you'd say, well, that's where all of his conclusions lead to. Why wouldn't you think that? But Herman Kahn got strange about it in the mid-70s after the Limits to Growth come out, and he produced another document, follow-up document to this, and adds loads of extra bits and bobs. But it was not as comprehensive and cleverly produced as this. And of course, this guy Leonard has done a really good job of noting them down, so we can kind of go through them one by one. And there's things there like the changing of gender that we see happening right in front of us now, and there's things there that we don't really see, that we're not sure about. Is it coming? Is it not coming? And there's things there we don't really understand what it means to us until it happens. If someone had told someone in the 50s or 60s, when sex change operations were first being done and envisaged properly, they had told them then that in the future you're going to have all of this stuff, and there's going to be transgender activists, and the majority of society would have said you're batshit crazy. But we're here, and what we're looking at in that document is the people who back then wouldn't have told you you're batshit crazy would have said, yes, of course, we've modeled it out and we've seen it. And Herman Kahn was amazing at this. He was amazing at predicting what the near future held. But his warnings are extremely important. His warnings are extremely important. And that one at the end of the article, the second in the 12 series, that's really, really important. Warning for humanity. And at the same time he was warning, he was stepping us towards this stuff, and he was encouraging other people. So don't be tricked. He was trying to look innocent. At the same time, he was advancing a real sinister agenda. And that's an agenda that's still advancing today, and it's advancing towards technological improvement and looking to be taken over by another technocrat eventually. So people like Musk and his ilk, the new neo-technocrats, they will take over soon. And those guys, they'll be different from the last ones. They won't be, they'll be listening to algorithms. They'll be listening to words printed off a computer. They won't be listening to the warnings of Herman Kahn anymore. But we should. You can find my work on Fungi Monkey. That's media stuff, johnnyvedmore.com. But of course, you can read the articles on Unlimited Hangout, as some others on johnnyvedmore.com. Please interact. Any support would be good. But most importantly, share these videos around. Maybe someone will like them. Maybe they won't. And thanks for indulging me and listening to this rambling nonsense. I wanted to go through it because some people won't be into this. Oh, I'm going through this list of things one by one. But you need to understand what's happening and where we are in the world. And so it's a really good way to do that. We're advancing, and it's going to advance quicker. Hold on really tight.
Shaping a great reset for the post-corona era.